Hi there. So if you've been watching my videos for a good amount of time, you may know that I usually do bookshelf tours like every Christmas. And I had this red bookshelf, there was just one bookshelf, it was in this side of my room on the other side, but we redid my room, kind of. I got hardwood floors, so I had to move all of my books from there to the basement, where they have been for weeks, months, and then I got these babies, these brand new bookshelves. I have 3 new shelves, and they cover my entire wall. It's like 3 times what I had before, and I can organize it, and I can spread things out, and I can put on movies, and my snow globes, and everything looks so nice now. So I spent today reorganizing them, and now I'm very excited. I'm going to do a bookshelf tour. I mean, I already had great bookshelves, and I really loved them, but now it's like 3 times better. I'm gonna start on the very far left side, and I'm just gonna go across all 3 shelves, and then I'm gonna do like the second shelf of all 3 shelves and just go on like that, because like they kind of get less important towards the bottom. Not less important, but you know what I mean. I'm so happy about these bookshelves. I think it's like a library in my room. There's so much dopamine in the synapses right now, and I love these bookshelves, and I'm so happy about this. Let's do this tour. So this is the completely finished product right here, and we're going to start over here. So first up here I have my entire Jodi Picoult collection. I have 15 books of hers. We have The Storyteller, her most recent one. Sing You Home, my favorite, personally. House Rules, Between the Lines, which she co-wrote with her daughter Samantha Van Leer. Lone Wolf, My Sister's Keeper, 19 Minutes, Handle with Care, Change of Heart, Vanishing Act, Salem Falls, Songs of the Humpback Whale, Perfect Match, The 10th Circle, and then The Pact. And then I have some of my James Patterson adult novels, Now You See Her, Sundays at Tiffany's, The Christmas Wedding, and Cross, the 12th Alex Cross book. And then we have Angels and Demons by Dan Brown, The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson, and The Night Circus by Aaron Morgenstern. So moving on to the next shelf, we have, of course, my Gone collection. We have Gone, Hunger, Lies, Plague, Fear, and Light. These are all signed. This is like my favorite series in the world, kind of. You guys have probably heard me talk about it in like every freaking video that I make. And then we have Berserk by Michael Grant. I haven't read this one yet. And then we have Divergent and Insurgent by Veronica Roth in the Insurgent Collector's Edition. And then we have The Lorien Legacies by Pittacus Lore. So far, I am number 4, The Power of 6, The Rise of 9, and The Fall of 5, which is the new book that just recently came out. I have not read the previous 2 for some reason, but I read the first 2, and I'm really looking forward to catching up on the series, because it was amazing so far. I don't know why I kinda stopped reading them for a year. And then we have the 6 novellas on top of the 5th wave here. They are packed into 2 paperbacks. We have 6's Legacy, 9's Legacy, and The Fallen Legacy in The Lost Files, The Legacies. And then in this one we have The Search for Sam, The Last Days of Lorien, and The Forgotten Ones. And under those we have The 5th Wave by Rick Yancey, which I'm really looking forward to reading. Moving on to the top of the 3rd shelf, we have Hunger Games Trilogy by Suzanne Collins, The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay. Next to that, I have my James Dashner books, The Maze Runner, The Scorched Trials, and The Death Cure, making up the Maze Runner trilogy, and then the prequel to that, The Kill Order. And then the first 2 books in the series, the trilogy that's coming to a conclusion pretty soon next year, Legend and Prodigy by Marie Lu. And then I have the first 2 books in the Enemy series by Charlie Higson, The Enemy and the Dead. I have Partials by Dan Wells, the first book in the Chaos Walking trilogy, The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, then Leviathan by Scott Westerfeld, The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, which I really want to read because I mentioned it in a previous video and you were all like, oh my gosh, you should read it soon, the movie's coming out, and I watched the movie trailer and it looks really good, so I'm probably going to read that sometime soon. It's moved up on the list. Anyway, beside that we have Unwind by Neil Shusterman, Wake by Lisa McMahon, Shelter by Harlan Coben, then we have Harkin by Caleb Nation. My name is in the back of that and it's signed. I was one of the first something number of people to order that. And then we have Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I freaking love that book. The Revenge of the Witch, the first book in the Last Apprentice series by Joseph Delaney. And then 13 Days to Midnight by Patrick Carman. Deadly Little Secrets by Lori Faria Stolars, I believe. And then we have Fallen by Lauren Kate. And I bought this because it was $4.99. And it was on sale. So that makes the top of all of these shelves. Now we're moving on to the second shelf. I have some snow globes here that I've gotten from various trips that I've been on. I collect snow globes. I love them. I think they're great. I get them all the time when I go on vacation. And this is a snitch back here from Harry Potter, obviously. I'm not gonna go through all of these since I know a lot of people probably won't care. So of course the Rick Riordan books. We have the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, and then the Heroes of Olympus series so far, and then the Kane Chronicles, and then we have the Demigod Files, the Ultimate Guide for Percy Jackson, the Demigod Diaries, and then the Kane Chronicles Survival Guide. Not that I need to go through these, but The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, The Last Olympian, The Lost Hero, The Son of Neptune, The Mark of Athena, The Red Pyramid, The Throne of Fire, The Serpent's Shadow, and then all the other ones I already mentioned. The first two books in the Escape from Furnace series by Alexander Gordon Smith, Lockdown and Solitary, and then the Maximum Ride series is right here, and these two as well. We have the Angel Experiment, School's Out Forever, Saving the World and Other Extreme Sports, The Final Warning, Max, Fang, Angel, and Nevermore. I reviewed Nevermore, and that pretty much, it'll tell everything. And then under here we have the Witch and Wizard series. I decided to make them, like, not in order, but, like, opposite, because, it seemed, I don't know. So we have Witch and Wizard, The Gift, and The Fire, all by James Patterson. Not really though, he has co-authors, but I don't remember their names, and I don't really want to take these out. This next section I like to call like my Nerdfighter section, even though that probably expands to a lot more of the shelf. So we have, of course, the John Green books, Looking for Alaska, An Abundance of Catherines, Paper Towns, Will Grayson with David Levithan, and The Fault in Our Stars. I will review Will Grayson, I just don't know when. And then we have the David Levithan books, aside from Will Grayson, which is in with the John Green books. We have Dash and Lily's Book of Dares, which he wrote with Rachel Cohn, and then we have Boy Meets Boy, The Realm of Possibility, Every You, Every Me, Every Day, and Invisibility, which he wrote with Andrea Kremer. And then we have The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson, and The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith. Next to those, I decided to put my classics and my biographies and autobiographies. Some of these aren't actually classics, but I think they should be or will be. So first we have The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, the prequel to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Next to that we have The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, which I've heard a lot of good things about, and I just recently learned that that's like a series. Anyway, next to that I have Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, which I really enjoyed that book. It wasn't like my favorite book of all time, but I read it last year over the summer because of his death. Like, I read it in tribute with all the Nerdfighters. They had like this big thing. Beside that, we have 2 copies of The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This is one that I bought and read on my own for fun. This is one that I stole from my brother because he read it for school and they had to write in it, so I just kept it because he didn't want it. Next to that, I have like my favorite book of all time, being serious this time, although Looking for Alaska also qualifies. It is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. If you haven't read that book yet, you really should. Next to that, I have The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. Then I have Tuesdays with Morrie and the 5 People You Meet in Heaven, both by Mitch Albom. Lord of the Flies by William Golding, which I read in school in like 8th grade maybe, and now I just found out this year I have to read it again for Honors English. And then I have The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. I was in the Tom Sawyer play, so that's the reason that I have those books. I was kind of like researching it. And then I have To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, which I also only have because I was in the play. But I did read it in 8th grade, and I really enjoyed it. And then I have Where Things Come Back by John Corey Whaley, which I haven't even read. I just have like this really good feeling about this book. And then I have It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini. And now we have my biographies, autobiographies, memoirs, what have you. Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. This is a fabulous book. I have never read it cover to cover, but I've read parts of it, and it's really super interesting. And I just saw the movie with Ashton Kutcher, and it's really good. And then I have 2 copies of my 3 copies of Bossy Pants by Tina Fey. I got this one at a garage sale, and I bought this one at Target. And then I have the audiobook on my iPhone. Is such a good book. I freaking love Tina Fey. Beside that, we have Seriously, I'm Kidding by Ellen DeGeneres. Beside that, we have The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. And then the Steven Spielberg biography by Kathy Jackson. I freaking love Steven Spielberg, not Kathy Jackson, because I don't know her, but I'm sure she's a great person. This is that shelf, and now we're going to go on to the 3rd shelf. Of all the shelves, I think this may be my favorite one. We're looking at this one. This one's kind of in there because I want to get the whole shot. But this is my Harry Potter / J.K. Rowling shelf. I've never had room on my shelf to have like a whole shelf devoted to Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling, but I've always wanted to. So now I can, and I really love this shelf. Harry Potter is super important to me, and I really love J.K. Rowling as a writer. So starting from the left, we have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, another copy of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. It's good to practice that sometimes. I haven't done that in a while. And then on top of those, I have all 8 of the movies. This one is in Blu-rays. And then I have 2 Harry Potter snow globes that I've had since a really young age. This is the Hogwarts Express, and the train is like around it. I'm pretty sure this was like super expensive. And then this is a Quidditch snow globe. They both make music. When you turn this one on, the train like spins around, and it's super cool. Now I have music playing. This is kind of awkward. I have a time turner around this. I have 2 time turners actually. And then I have another snitch right here, like I had one up here. And then I have her other 3 books, although she has those other ones where it's like the Quidditch something. I have the Tales of Beetle the Bard, which was super interesting to read. And then we have the Casual Vacancy, which I never got around to. I have all these post-it notes in it, because I was going to read like a certain section every month, and then it was going to be my 2013 project to like read the Casual Vacancy and spread it nicely out throughout the entire year. That didn't happen. Anyway, I have The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith. It's J.K. Rowling's new book. If you didn't know that, she has a new book, and I'm super pumped to read it because it actually sounds really, really interesting. So that's my J.K. Rowling shelf. I was not able to export the entire 25-minute bookshelf tour, so I had to split it into 2 parts. So this is part 1. You can click anywhere on the screen to find part 2, and it will be the first link in the description. So I will see you there. There's nothing else after this. Just click.